what day is it? Today's Thursday. I don't even know what day it is. That's not good. But yeah, happy Thursday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by See-Through Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys, as always, for sponsoring our videos. So let's get right into our weather headlines. It's going to possibly be a busy next few days here at the Hail Palace. We have a risk today down in the south, so we will look at who will possibly see some large hail as well as some strong winds in a tornado or two. And then as we get into tomorrow, we could see a significant weather event in the south. So once again, areas such as Mississippi, Alabama, you could possibly see some of that significant severe weather if it does unfold. So we'll talk about that. And then we will get into a Friday, or Saturday, excuse me, tomorrow's Friday, as we see this system move into the southeast, getting into our Saturday and Saturday evening. So here are our current conditions across the lower 48. We have basically a stalled out front here in the middle of the country. We're going to zoom right into the southern part of the U.S. Oklahoma City, you're basically, it's cleared our area, which unfortunately may kill our severe risks for today. We'll have to wait and see. But those showers are going to pop up here along that front just to the south of Oklahoma City. Some clearing in Texas and Arkansas. And then as we go to the northern part of the country into the northeast, this front is bringing in some rain and even some mixed precipitation in parts of Maine, as well as some heavier snow in the northern part of the state. So zooming back out, looking at our temperatures, you can see where that front is situated. It's 81 in Dallas, only 40 in Kansas City. Warm as well as we get down into Atlanta, Miami, and Houston. And then again, as we get on the cold side, it is only 32 in Minneapolis, and our dew points are relatively sticky as we get down into the southern part of the U.S. This is again where we're going to be watching for the potential of severe weather this afternoon and evening. We have a dew point of 65 in Dallas, 69 for our dew point in New Orleans. So basically, once we get into the mid 60s or higher for dew points, that's when we start really feeling that uncomfortable stickiness in the air. So we do have moisture in place for that severe weather this afternoon and evening. So here is our significant hail model. You can see we're going to be watching here very closely in Oklahoma City, but it looks like the activity may just be to your south today, but those brighter colors are going to be stretching from basically the northern parts of Texas down into the western Texas region, up into the southern part of Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, as well as getting into Arkansas and maybe as far north as the Ohio Valley. I know we had a storm or two already this morning that produced some chorus-sized hail, but I think the largest hail is going to be here in southern Oklahoma and parts of Texas. And as we get into this evening, you can see those brighter colors continuing to show up here. And this model is keeping everything, again, to the south of Oklahoma City. And then as we get to 1 a.m. tomorrow morning, Dallas, you are still seeing those brighter colors there. So we may get some hail in your region, but some brighter colors are just to your west there in Dallas. And then as we wake up tomorrow morning, you can see some hail may still be around, although I think the sizes should be on the smaller side if anything is still producing. In terms of today's max size hail, I think the largest hail that's going to be possible today will be up to tennis ball size. Again, that's 2.5 inches in diameter. That will be possible with those strongest storms that we'll see today. So here is our future radar. We're going to have two of these. One will be here in the south, and then the other I will show you what will be going on in the Ohio Valley. So again, this is by 3 p.m. We will have some individual cells starting to pop up here in southern Oklahoma. We will see some thunderstorm development here in Oklahoma City in terms of severe weather, though. At this time, it looks like it's going to stay just to our south. But more activity will continue to fire up here as we get into this evening, and then getting into later on this evening. This is at 10 p.m. Central Time. You can see storms will basically be taking over the central part of the state here in Oklahoma, all the way down to the Red River Valley, Wichita Falls. You can see some activity as well. And then that stretches all the way up into Missouri and into Illinois and Indiana. And then this is at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can see that activity will start to spread to the south, just to the west of Dallas. And then as we get to daybreak, you can see those storms start to fizzle out as they near Dallas. So the chances aren't zero for you guys in DFW, but they're not the best. But we'll keep an eye on you guys there. And then, like I said, we're going to go further to the north. That front is also situated in the Ohio Valley, and we could see some marginally severe hail here, Cincinnati down to the southern parts of Indiana, Illinois as well, and maybe as far north as St. Louis. As we get into later on this evening, you can see more robust activity will start to fire up. So if anything, we're going to get some pretty heavy rain here across the region. But again, we could see some marginally severe hail and wind gusts out of this as well. And then this will continue to push off to the east as we get into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. So here is our hail forecast for today. You can see quarter-size hail at the minimum will be possible from parts of Indiana all the way down to Texas, and that larger hail will be possible for areas such as Abilene to Wichita Falls into Ardmore, Oklahoma City. Unfortunately, I have you out of this right now as the front has pushed through, but maybe we can get some of the southern parts of the area with some hail. But Oklahoma City proper, you guys are out of this at this time, but we'll continue to watch you guys here as we go through this afternoon. Dallas-Fort Worth, you're on a low-end chance as well. So again, the best chances for that large hail will be basically from Abilene all the way down to the Texas-Mexico border, up to Wichita Falls and into the southern parts of Oklahoma. So Ardmore, you guys can see some large hail possibly later on this afternoon. And then getting up into the other parts of the region, Tulsa, you can see a low chance to see some large hail, as well as St. Louis and Indianapolis. And then in terms of wind, almost the same general areas. We can see anywhere from 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts from basically all the way down south to the Texas-Mexico border, up to Abilene, Dallas-Fort Worth, Wichita Falls. Again, low-end chances. I think we could see a better chance for hail today in those regions, and then low-end chances for those winds for Tulsa, Fort Smith, all the way up to St. Louis. And then our tornado forecast, we have a low-end chance today to see a tornado or two in some of the same areas. So Abilene, Wichita Falls, all the way up to Fort Smith, and near the Arkansas-Missouri border, we could see a low-end chance of a tornado or two there. Now, as we get into tomorrow, like I mentioned at the beginning, we could see a pretty significant outbreak of severe weather tomorrow. So let's take a look at tomorrow's future radar. This is at 7 a.m. Central Time. So there will be storms going on still in eastern Oklahoma, getting into Arkansas, northward into Kentucky and Illinois, Indiana, up into the Ohio Valley. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to stop at first at 9 a.m. This moisture will continue to push off to the east, and then as we get into basically tomorrow afternoon, later into the afternoon, this is at 4 p.m. Central Time. This is when we got to start to watch for the development of more significant severe weather So this particular model is showing a line starting to form just the west of Little Rock, and then as we get to 6 p.m. you can see we have a line, we have some individual cells here, so we could see some large hail at the beginning, but then I think as we get later on into the evening we're going to transition more into a significant wind event as well as the potential for tornadoes. Some of those could be on the strong side. So this is at 8:30 tomorrow evening, just to the west of Memphis. We got to keep an eye on this region, basically Little Rock to Memphis down to Jackson, Mississippi, especially as I think those areas are going to be under the gun for the most significant severe weather. And then as we get into Friday night into early Saturday morning, that line will really start to fire up and move off to the east. So Nashville, you can get into the action on early Saturday morning. And basically that line stretches all the way down into central Mississippi, and we could see some isolated cells ahead of this line as well. And then that will start to continue push off to the east as we get to 5 a.m. Central Time Saturday morning, so 6 a.m. Eastern Time. The storms will be reaching Atlanta. They should start to weaken by then. We will see how long they keep their punch. We can see basically based on those reflectivity colors that they don't look as hefty. So we will see what happens as we get into Saturday. But for now, let's take a look at tomorrow's hail forecast. Again, I think the storms will be discreet to start out, so we could see hail up to golf ball size for areas such as Little Rock down to Shreveport. But then as we get into later on tomorrow evening, it's going to become, I think, more of a wind event as well as a tornado event possibly. So I just have a low end chance for hail from basically Jackson to Memphis, eastward to Birmingham, all the way up to Cincinnati. $1.25 size hail is possible in those regions. And then, again, the wind, I think, is going to be a bigger threat tomorrow. We have anywhere from 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts basically in those same areas from all the way down to New Orleans, Shreveport, northward to Little Rock. So Little Rock and Jackson, I think you guys have the best chances to see the strongest gusts tomorrow. We could see, above 70 mile per hour gusts up to 75. We have to see how strong those winds get, but significant winds are possible tomorrow across this area. And then we have a moderate chance to see some severe winds from Birmingham northward to Nashville, and then a low end chance in Cincinnati. And then in terms of our tornado forecast for tomorrow, we could again see some tornadoes tomorrow, and they could be on the strong side. So Jackson, Mississippi, I think you have the best chance to see a tornado or two tomorrow. Little Rock here on the moderate side. Elsewhere, we just have a low end chance to see a tornado from Shreveport, Birmingham, Nashville, and maybe as far north as Cincinnati. So tomorrow looks like it could be a pretty active day. So make sure, whether it's today or tomorrow, if you're in these areas, that you have your materials ready if you have to take cover, especially with that tornado threat tomorrow. But then as we get into Saturday, that risk will push off into the southeast. So we'll wake up and we could see a storm or two in Atlanta. And then as we get into Saturday afternoon and evening, that activity will push off to near the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, and down into the Florida Panhandle, and that will start to weaken and push off the coast as we get into Saturday evening. But then as we get into Sunday, we have to watch to see if any of this actually unfolds, but it looks like more storms may happen along the Gulf Coast as we begin our Sunday morning. But we're just going to focus on Saturday right now because that is still a few days out, but this is what we're thinking for our Saturday in Atlanta. This will be early for you guys, so as we wake up Saturday morning, and then those chances stretch all the way down to the Florida Panhandle, eastward into parts of South Carolina. So it's going to be pretty busy potentially as we get into today and into the next few days. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as our TikTok page. And if you have any questions, concerns, if you just want to say hi, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hilltrace.com and check out our website at www.hilltrace.com. And then you can also see the scanning code up here. If you need a demo, you can scan that with your phone and you can schedule a demo with us as we have our new 4.0 app out now. So besides that, I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday.